Matt, listen, women's strawweight is on fire right now, but women's flyweight just continues to gain with these little stars coming in, popping in here and there. You get a nice prospect. And Mariya Agapova in her UFC debut absolutely shone over Hannah Cifers, a proven vet at strawweight, albeit
Scrappy gal.
taking a fight on relatively short notice. We're talking like weeks' notice, where she just lost the fight to Mackenzie Dern. In steps Mariya Agapova, who everybody assumed would win, and she did. And what does Mariya Agapova do? She calls out Shana Dobson. So you're going from a fighter with 2 times as many wins to losses to a fighter that has a negative record. And listen, Shana Dobson, school teacher, she's scrappy. And in every fight but one, she's had more strikes thrown against her than she has thrown strikes.
Interesting fact about Shana Dobson. I had watched that Ultimate Fighter season. It was the last one I've ever watched. And I never really watched many of them very consistently. But I like Eddie Alvarez. I like Justin Gaethje. I thought that'd be a good season. And they were adding a new division. So I went out of my way to watch her fight Ariel Beck in her only UFC win. And I must say, it's the weirdest win I've ever seen. Because in that fight, she lands one punch to Beck. Beck takes 2 steps back and just falls on the ground. Not saying it was a fix or anything, but it was more a fighter who didn't want to be in there anymore than a fighter who genuinely got TKO'd. So even her one win, there's a bit of a question mark around it. Now, she was probably going to go on to at least win a decision in that fight, but it's never a great sign when you're 1-3 in the UFC and your one win, there's even a bit of a caveat around it.
And gave a good account of herself against Lauren Mueller again. So she has that fight. She gets absolutely outclassed by Sabina Mazo in her next time out. And then she gets knocked out by Zombie Girl, Priscilla Cachoeira, in her last time out in the first round in the first 40 seconds. It didn't go well. And again, I can harp on and on about this fight, but Mariya Agapova is one of the most hyped prospects, I would say, in all of MMA, especially in this division right now. And oh, by the way, she's a minus 900 favorite. If you look over on Tapology, votes don't matter. My papers don't matter. Again,
You're really going
throw
to that
those.
again. Credit going to the well.
Out of 317 votes, 94% going with Agapova, 55% by knockout. Again, fighting's fighting. Shana Dobson could throw a looping left hook out of hell and knock out.
Not really, because here's the problem. Shana Dobson's not Roy Nelson. It's not like she has that one-punch knockout power that could just end the fight immediately. Like, Shana Dobson hits sort of hard for the division, but again, we're talking about a lady who has a 3-4 record in this division, and who just doesn't really have a lot of the skill set that a lot of these other top-level MMA fighters do. And with Agapova, we've really seen, especially in the last few fights, like, she's the total package. If the fight goes to the ground, she's going to be better than Dobson. If the fight stays on the feet, she'll be better than Dobson. There's not really an area of the fight that Dobson has the advantage over Agapova. So, again, this is my lock of the night. What a surprise, I know. Mariya Agapova is going to win this fight.
I mean, Agapova, if you want to put any stock into her loss, Tracy Cortez, no shame in that. Cortez is tough out at 25. And then with Mariya Agapova, again, you're somebody that's training out of South Florida with some of the best women in the world. I mean, we can go down through it. Yan Jacek, Amanda Nunes.
Valerie Laredo.
At one point, Jillian Robertson, and so on and so forth. And Mariya Agapova really looking like the real deal. I think she's going to run away with the win here. Again, most hype prospect in the division. She's going to eventually take on somebody that's really going to give her that tough test, like Cortez did in Contender Series, and she had to build herself back up on the regional scene before getting the shot here. Speaks incredibly well in the interviews. Not saying that Shana Dobson doesn't. I just, again, we're building a case here for Mariya Agapova. If I woke up in the morning Shana Dobson won, I'd probably bricks. So it's not going to happen. I think Agapova is going to get the win.
No, I thought you were going with that. I think you'd be like, oh, I wouldn't be surprised at all. I was about to say, I'd be so surprised. If Shana Dobson somehow pulls this off, I will personally apologize to her on Twitter, and I'd feel really bad about it. But no, we have a 3-4 fighter against... this is such a weird call-out, too. One of the awards for just strangest call-outs ever. It'd be like if LeBron didn't call out, like, Kawhi as his rival, if he was like, yo, Lonzo. It's us. Like, it just doesn't really make a lot of sense. So, Agapova should be able to get it done pretty easy. I don't see this being a hard fight. It'll be exciting, though, to see who they do match up Agapova with after. But start calling out people with positive records, please. It'd be a lot of fun to see her start to get some of the more elite of the division. Karolina Kowalkiewicz could be a lot of fun. I know
25?
She's lost a few fights, though, but there has been talk of her potentially moving up. That's the only reason I say. There are fun fights out there for her with some, bigger names to really get her in the mainstream.
Apologies, because normally we give a pretty good account of everyone, but yeah, it just seems like the runaway win for Mariya Agapova. You're not going to want to miss the rest of our predictions. Maybe this set you off, but we've got an extended look at Frankie Edgar taking on a tough test in Pedro Munhoz. Keep it locked in with Fight Night Picks, Matt. And as we always say, let's get into it.